Welcome to Nutrition Your Way. I'm your host, Cindi Stickle. This podcast is for those of you that finally want to have control over your own health and your family's health. This is for you if you don't know what to eat to help your chronic illness or even your child's ADHD. I will share with you how to easily swap out unhealthy ingredients in your food for healthier ingredients that won't make you sicker or affect your chronic illness. And yes, you can still eat your favorite foods. Other areas I will cover include how to remove toxins from your food and life, how to eliminate the overwhelm you have with your health, including how to read labels, meal plan and prep, and how to manage grocery shopping with ease. My goal is to make biohacking effortless. Hey everyone, welcome back to Nutrition Your Way. Today we're talking about mindset and how important it is on your nutrition journey. So first, the significance of it. Why do you even need to have any kind of mindset to achieve your nutrition and health goals? Well, it's a critical factor in successfully achieving and maintaining your nutrition and health goals. Because our thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes shape our actions and behaviors, which ultimately determine our outcomes. A positive, growth-oriented mindset can provide the foundation for making healthy choices, overcoming obstacles, and creating lasting change. We've all heard how a positive mindset leads to positive results. And you can't think of positive and negative thoughts at the same time. So we want to keep them all positive. So when we approach nutrition and health with the mindset focused on nourishment, self-care, and long-term well-being, we are more likely to make decisions that align with these values. This mindset shift can help us prioritize our healthy habits, such as eating balanced meals, staying physically active, and managing stress even in the face of challenges or temptations. And these healthy mindset practices can foster resilience and adaptability because we're all going to face setbacks and obstacles on our path to better health. It's just inevitable. And a mindset that embraces these challenges as opportunities for growth and learning instead of thinking it as negative, it can help us persevere and maintain progress. So instead of getting discouraged by temporary slips, a healthy mindset allows us to view them as valuable lessons and motivates us to get back on track. So, what are some of the types of healthy mindsets that you should have? There's growth orientation or the growth mindset. There's positive self-talk, which we all could use practice in. There's self-compassion, the nourishment focus, especially this is tied to nutrition, the long-term perspective, and then purpose-driven. So I'm going to touch on a little bit of all of those and how it fits in with your nutrition journey. So we've all heard growth mindset. It's the definition, right, is a belief that one's abilities, intelligence, and skills can be developed and improved through dedication and hard work. Okay? When it comes to nutrition and health, a growth mindset involves believing that one can develop healthy habits, overcome challenges, and make positive changes to their lifestyle. It emphasizes the idea that progress is possible through effort, learning, and perseverance rather than being limited by innate factors or past experiences. So we all know that keeping our focus on the positive outcomes and the results we want definitely help us, and it helps us grow. So that's why the growth mindset. It also helps us when it comes to overcoming challenges and setbacks. So a growth mindset is a very powerful tool for that, especially when it comes to nutrition and health. So when faced with difficulties such as slipping up on a healthy eating plan or struggling to maintain a fitness routine, a growth mindset helps individuals respond in adaptive ways. So instead of viewing the setbacks as failures or signs of personal inadequacy, because how many times do we always, blame ourselves? A growth mindset reframes them as valuable learning experiences. This perspective allows individuals to approach challenges with curiosity and a problem-solving attitude. And so you can ask questions like, what can I learn from this experience? Or how can I adjust my approach to be more effective? So growth mindset just encourages us to grow from our mistakes and learn from our mistakes. So what could you do to make more growth mindset decisions in your nutrition and health journey? Just embrace the learning process. Because if you're learning anything new, you know that it's going to take time and you're going to make mistakes. So just know that mistakes will happen, but you're learning as you go. And again, reframe your challenges as opportunities. Okay? Ask yourself what you can learn from that situation. Celebrate all your effort and progress, even if it's just a small amount of progress, because that's still progress. Giving ourselves that positive feedback just helps our mindset, and we want to stay positive for the rest of our journey. So recognize that progress is often very incremental and that small steps in the right direction are worth celebrating. Okay, so if you only lose like a pound a week, hey, you're losing a pound a week. That's amazing. Or if you're working out and you moved up from 5-pound dumbbells to 10-pound dumbbells, that is something to be proud of. Self-compassion, right? Treat ourselves with kindness. That's always something that we're all learning. Surround yourself with support. Okay, seek out people and communities or resources that promote a growth mindset and keep you in that frame of mind. And reflect regularly, like look back at your progress, especially if you write stuff down and keep track of it. There's a book called The Gap and the Gain, and you're looking at where you have come from, and when you realize how far you have come, you see how far, like you're not missing the finish line because you have come so far already. So that's what you want to look at, is you want to see where you started and where you are now and celebrate that. So then a positive relationship with food. So that's where the dangers of restrictive dieting come in, and that is what I'm so against. I am like so against restrictions, giving anyone a diet that's already pre-made. I'm a flexible nutrition. We go with the flow. We adapt it to fit your needs. Yes, we still eat healthy. I'm not going to say, yeah, you can eat Oreos instead of, an apple. No, but it's up to you. Like if that's what you want to eat, then that's your choice, and the results are going to be based on your choices. But I help you eat your favorite foods by substituting in healthier ingredients, especially if you have a chronic illness and it's making that illness worse. So just the fact that restrictive dieting, it just sets so many people off to the wrong path, and mentally it derails everybody. Because people or those diets start labeling things as food as bad or things like that. And yeah, if you're allergic to something, of course, you can't have that. It's bad. But most things, it's either healthy or unhealthy, right? Junk food is unhealthy for you, okay? Doesn't mean that it's bad food, right? It may not fit into, if you're tracking macros or, trying to be on a calorie deficit so you can lose weight. They might not fit into your plan at the moment, but that doesn't mean you can't have them eventually. But getting that mindset to stay positive around the food you're eating is so crucial, because that's where so many people fall off the horse, so to speak, and just never go back to trying again. It just mentally derails them. Restrictive dieting and a negative view on food can also disconnect your body's natural hunger and satiety cues. It's like when you're hungry and stuff. You need to rely on those cues so that you know when you're hungry, when you should eat. You're not eating when you're not hungry. Okay, it messes up with our whole body's rhythm. And it can also lead to social isolation because you feel like you can't go anywhere. You can't go or be around people. There might be too many, negative view of food. And it often leads to eating disorders. So you're going to want to focus on the nourishment and the balance. And it's okay to have that Oreo with everything else, but make sure you're eating all the carbs, proteins, and fats that you need for the day. And then you'll have room for that Oreo or the ice cream. Well, I make my ice cream healthy with protein in it. But look at it that way. And I know it's easier said than done. So some tips for healthier mindset around food. You want to eat slowly without distractions. You want to take time to sit down and focus on the meals. Check in with your hunger and fullness levels, okay? Before eating, take a moment to assess your level of hunger. Don't just eat because it's 5 o'clock and that's when everyone eats. Eat when you're hungry. Engage all your senses, the smell, the taste, okay, the textures. Practice non-judgmental awareness. Okay, notice any thoughts or emotions that might come up while you're eating and try to observe them without judgment. Again, avoid labeling foods as good or bad and instead focus on how they make you feel physically and emotionally. Cope with the emotions mindfully. Okay, if you're feeling stressed, find a coping mechanism strategy that you like to use instead of food. Deep breathing, meditation, exercise, or call a friend for, some help. Again, same with the last one, be patient and compassionate with yourself. This takes time, and learning to listen to your body's cues doesn't happen overnight. And so this leads into self-compassion. So how does self-compassion play into maintaining a healthy mindset? It's important, particularly when it comes to nutrition and health, because self-compassion involves treating oneself with kindness, understanding, acceptance, and especially in the face of challenges or setbacks. So how many times have we, say you want to avoid all those Oreos and all of a sudden you eat one, you're like, oh, forget it. I'm just going to have to start all over, or I'm not going to do, this diet anymore. Okay, it's okay to have one. As long as you're not allergic to it, it's okay to have one. And then you just keep going. Because just eating one Oreo is not going to cause you to gain the weight. It's when you eat all the entire packages of Oreos and you don't eat the healthier food. So, research has shown that self-compassion is associated with numerous psychological benefits, including increased motivation, improved emotional well-being, and some greater resilience when you are faced with stress. So when it comes to nutrition and health, self-compassion can help people bounce back from setbacks. It can help you maintain a balanced perspective and avoid getting caught up in that negative self-talk. So self-criticism and guilt can have a detrimental effect on progress towards your nutrition and health goals. So when individuals engage in that self-criticism, they often become trapped in a negative cycle that then undermines their effort and their well-being. And it's like, well, why even bother, right? And it can lead to sense of hopelessness, decreased motivation. It can become self-fulfilling prophecy, the negative self-talk, because some people will get discouraged and then they're less likely to even take action towards their goals. So you just want to make sure that when you find yourself going in that direction, call a friend, go exercise, do something that is going to get your mind off of it, and start thinking about something that you accomplished that can replace that negative thought. And so every time a negative thought comes in, just sit with it, reframe it, and then turn it into a positive one. So you could treat yourself as you would a good friend. Like, we tend to talk more poorly to ourselves than we do other people. You can practice mindfulness. Like I said, use the kind and supportive language, like turn it into a positive thought. Embrace imperfection because we're all not perfect. Engage in self-care activities that will, slow your thoughts down, deep breathing. Another important mindset for nutrition and health is a purpose and goal. Okay? Because you need to have a clear sense of where you're going to stay motivated. Okay, so some people, it's like, I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to, get back in the gym and get ready for a bodybuilding show or something. So when you understand why you want to do this and what your goals are, it's easier to stay connected to the activities. So a lot of people call this your why. Okay? So every time you get discouraged or have that negative self-talk, you can think back to, why am I doing this? And then when you have that goal, you're like, oh, that's right. That's what I want to do. And it's a quicker way to turn that negative thought into something positive. And then you remember why you're doing what you're doing. So when you want to set these meaningful goals, you're going to start with your values. Like, how do your health goals align, your nutrition goals? Be specific and measurable. Okay? You could say eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day, or cook meals at home, using whole food at least 4 times a week. Okay, so just get very, very specific. It makes it easier to remember. Set realistic timelines. Losing 20 pounds in a week is not realistic. Okay? Losing a pound a week is more realistic. Okay, so make sure it's not something that's so far out of reach that you just get discouraged easily. Again, focus on the behaviors, not the outcomes. Okay, so if you are exercising 30 minutes a day and that was your goal, yay, you're doing it. Okay. And again, review and adjust your goals. Okay, because sometimes your why changes, and just adjust it accordingly. Like, you can reflect on your why and go, is this really what is still my why? If not, change it. Visualize your best self. Okay, imagine that you're already living that dream, that goal. Okay, create a personal mission statement that you can just keep telling yourself over and over again, and that's why you're doing it. Okay. And then overcoming challenges and setbacks. That's a hard one for a lot of people, especially when it comes to nutrition and health. So difficulty breaking old habits. That's where I'm a habit change coach. Lots of training in that. I've changed my own habits over the years without help. Let me tell you, it's not easy without help. Okay, so I can show you how to do that. There's a lack of time and energy. So with busy schedules, you have to schedule time in to do what you need to do for your nutrition and health. Social pressures and temptations. There's so many, like, hey, let's go out to eat. Hey, let's go do this. I mean, you can still eat healthy out. Okay, but you have to decide what you want to do for your health and nutrition goals. Stress and emotional eating. That happens to most of us. Okay, so just be aware of that. The self-doubt and the negative talk, again, like I talked about. So how can you create a healthy mindset to navigate these obstacles? 1, embrace that growth mindset. Again, okay, view your challenges as opportunities for learning rather than as a permanent failure or setback. Okay, and the more you practice these, the more comfortable you'll get doing it. And then you also want to practice self-compassion. Again, our self-talk is usually the worst towards ourselves. Focus on progress, not perfection, right? Cultivate that resilience, okay? Set up a plan of how, when a setback happens, what you're going to do to keep going, okay? Maintain your long-term perspective. Again, why are you doing it? Okay? If some of those goals are a little hard, you can break them down into smaller, more manageable steps. So that way you're rewarding yourself when you hit that step sooner. So it gives you motivation. You need a support system. Practice your stress management techniques. Learn again from your setbacks, right? Celebrate your successes. That seems to be a common theme here. Flexible and adaptable, because life happens. And then creating lasting change. Like the role of mindset in creating sustainable, long-term healthy habits. Because a lot of people quit before they get to the long-term goal. And a lot of it is from mindset. Okay, so growth mindset. So it emphasizes a belief that skills and habits can be developed and improved through effort and practice, right? When individuals approach their health journey with the growth mindset, you're most likely to view the challenges as opportunities, like I've already been talking about, right? But you also need the mindset that will focus on the intrinsic value of healthy habits rather than just external outcomes, which also leads to the long term. Okay, this is a lifelong journey. So when you focus on inherent benefits of nourishing your body and doing physical activity and practicing self-care, you're more likely to find joy and fulfillment during the process of doing that. So the intrinsic motivation can sustain your commitment over time, even when progress feels slow or those external rewards are not immediately there and apparent. Okay? So again, what you can do to help with this is practice gratitude, how far you've come, surround yourself with positivity, refrain from negative thoughts, embrace setbacks again as learning opportunities, common theme, engage in regular self-reflection, okay? Self-care and stress management, that's always important. But celebrating successes and little small victories and progress is so crucial in your journey because it's so easy. And I know this, I live this myself. I don't recognize the small victories that I have until I really look at it and think about it and go, oh wait, look how far I've come. So it's called, and some of those people that try and lose weight, they call them the non-scale victories. Because sometimes you might not lose weight, but you're losing inches, right? Fat does not turn into muscle. You lose fat and you gain muscle. And so you're losing inches, but not pounds. So if you're only getting on the scale, you're like, man, I'm not losing weight. You need to look for those other small victories. You can do this by keeping a success journal. You can share progress with others, like if you're in groups. You can reward yourself at certain milestones, just to keep yourself motivated. And practice self-appreciation. So you take time to acknowledge and appreciate your own efforts and dedication, right? So a lot of the self-talk, whether it's positive or negative, most of us don't talk to ourselves that way. So it's a good habit to really get into. So in this episode, what I've been talking about are several different types of mindset. So it was growth mindset, that you embrace the challenges as opportunities, positive relationship with food, so rejecting the restrictive dieting and the idea that food is an enemy, and focus on nourishment, balance, and mindful eating practices. Yeah, I am the flexible nutrition coach. I am so anti-restriction diets. I don't ever tell anyone to eat that. You want self-compassion. Okay, we have to talk to ourselves kinder. And then purpose and intrinsic motivation. So just connecting with your health goals and finding the reason why, right? And while you're pursuing, the lifelong journey of your health. So I just wanted to talk about that today because most of the time when people aren't successful in their nutrition journey, it's due to mindset. And mindset plays havoc on all parts of our life. And it's something that I work on every day. And having an affirmation or, something like that to just talk, say to yourself every day over and over again, and just keeping those thoughts positive. And as always, don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified when new episodes are released. And if you like what you hear, I would love for you to leave a review. Thanks for listening today. I really appreciate you tuning in to the Nutrition Your Way podcast to learn about easy swaps, toxin-free nutrition, and how to biohack your family's health. Don't forget to subscribe here, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Cindi Stickle or my website cindystickle.com for the latest updates. Links are in the episode description.